Well, good evening, YouTube friends of North Georgia GMRS. Thanks for hanging out with me this evening. Glad to have you along as what is it? What is it we're going to do here tonight? We're going to have we're going to host the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net tonight. We're going to talk about mission statements. What do we do this for? I don't know. For the fun of it, really. That's what it all boils down to. We're all here because we enjoy what we do. I used to think I came here for the paycheck, but then 947 explained to me how much I make doing this, and so now I have to do it because I enjoy it, right? Let's see. I had a document opened a little bit ago. I don't know where it went. Let's see. And the main radio has an issue that I don't have time to troubleshoot. So we are on the 880, the good old reliable TK 880. Love these Kenwood radios. So it's a 25 watt radio. I think it'll do just fine. Let's see where we at here. Still need to find that document with my mission statement on it. I think. Let me do this. Let's see here. I don't have. Oh, there it is. Yep, that's what needs to be there. And then I need. Okay, we're going to open Sesame. There it is. Very good. All right, let me break that out into another window. That can stay right there. There's my script. All right. Okay, we're getting close. And I do have my handy dandy so that if I remember to use it, I don't have to cough your ears out. Help me remember. And we're getting very close. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me for these 5 minutes before we go. Sometimes the video stream gives me issues. It did this evening, in fact. When I went to start the stream, there was a window, a dialogue button that I had to address, but I'd already addressed it, and I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. But I just went through the motions again and said okay to everything, and then save, and then it was good to go. But I'm still learning my way around this whole live streaming thing, and it looks to me like I've got a ways to go before I get it figured out. So, with that in mind, we've got some interesting days ahead. Let's see. Make a little adjustment there. All right. I'm not sure if the angle just seems, I don't like it. But it seems like it's a sharper image, but I don't know, look like a little gray in this image. So I think we'll go back. There we go. Okay. So that's going to be that, and then there's the log. And all right. Okay, well it's time now to get this thing going. So let's see what happens. I wonder how many people are going to be with us tonight because of the storms and stuff in the area. So let's kick it in gear and let's find out. Good evening and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight I'll be working off of the Pine Log repeater, but we'll be linked in with the following repeaters: Sassafras, Lookout Mountain, Somerville, Jersey, Noonan, Moreland, Columbus, Zebulon, McDonough, and Crawford. Tonight our RF coverage is approximately 31,000 square miles. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. I'd like to thank everyone who has made the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive an active GMRS network in the country. Let me break. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 946, WQYR 514. My name is Justin, and I'm located at Studio B, right here in Woodstock, Georgia. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address other members of the net by their name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in and sign out of the net. When signing in, please speak slowly and clearly as you give your call sign, your tactical unit number, your name, and your location. At this time, we'll take check-ins. We do not have the VoIP server up and running yet, so we will move on past that, and we'll ask for check-ins from any new users, guests, or visitors to the North Georgia GMRS area. This is anyone with a GMRS license but is not a member who would like to check in to the net this evening. Net control standing by. Okay, and hearing nothing, we're going to go ahead and ask for youth members. Any youth members who would like to check in to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. That would be people like Aiden or Hannah. Hannah or Anna? Anna, 556? Anna from Holly Springs. Any of those folks that would like to check in, please call Net Control now. Okay, no youth check-ins tonight, so let's go ahead and make sure this radio is indeed working, and we'll ask for Pine Log check-ins. Anyone wishing to check in on the Pine Log repeater, please call Net Control now. WQIR 514, Atlanta 946 for a radio check.
Yes, CV. He's still on the air, calling for a radio check. He's not getting out or getting in either.
Roger, I agree. Atlanta 285, WRKM 234. Clear.
This is Atlanta 138, WRCA 209. I just want to check in and out.
Okay, folks, this is Net Control, Atlanta 946 WQIR 514. Apparently Pine Log is either not working or has lost the link. It appears to be linked, but I don't see any traffic coming in or out of it. So we're going to transition over and run the net from the Sassafras repeater tonight. I'm going to take a quick break to see if there are any QSOs in progress that can wrap up real quick. And then we'll kick this thing off in about a minute and a half.
This is Atlanta 26, WREB 450. Hey, Justin, I did not hear a thing on Pine Log at all, so I don't know whether the storm got to it or what was going on.
Good evening, and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight I'll be working off of the Sassafras repeater, and we are linked in with the following repeaters. Allegedly Pine Log, but I have my suspicions that that machine is currently down. Lookout Mountain, Somerville, Jersey, Noonan, Moreland, Columbus, Zebulon, McDonough, and Crawford. Tonight, our RF coverage is approximately 31,000 square miles, give or take. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. or sometimes a few minutes later. I would like to thank everyone who has made the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 946, WQIR 514. My name is Justin, and I'm located at Studio B, right here in Woodstock, Georgia. On the net, you can talk about your day's activities, radio equipment, or anything you think we'd like to hear. I bit my tongue the other day, and I'm having a tough time spitting words out of my mouth. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address other members of the net by name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in or sign out of the net. Let me break. When signing in, please speak slowly and clearly as you give your call sign, your tactical unit number, your name, and your location. At this time, we'll take check-ins. The script says VoIP check-ins, but I know that Zello is still down. That is an interesting story and has become far more complicated than it should have been, but here we are. And so at this time, we're going to go ahead and move on to any visiting guests or new users who would like to check in, and also any youth members 18 and under. Anyone who has a GMRS license but is not a member or visiting the area, or any youth members, please call Net Control now.
WRKN 715, Atlanta 520, Mark, and I'm in LJ.
Okay, I believe I heard two check-ins there. I copied Atlanta 520 Mark in Alaj, and another check-in behind Mark. The signal was just unreadable. I just couldn't make any of that out. So, station, if you would please, try to find a better location to transmit from. I know that it's a challenging evening with storms in the region, but if you can get to a better location, higher location to try that again, we would love to get you in here and find out who you are and what brought you to North Georgia GMRS. And Mark, we'll come back to you here in just a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and get this thing rolling since we've got a late start and we didn't get any early check-ins. With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to any Pine Log check-ins. Anyone wishing to check in from the Pine Log repeater, including new members, new users, guests, and youth members, please call Net Control now.
This is Atlanta 948, WRAR 430, Gary in Woodstock. Take me in and out, cut.
Atlanta 393, WRK 2400, in and out.
Okay, Net Control acknowledging Atlanta 948. Gary in Woodstock. Gary, I've got you in a log as in and out. I appreciate you taking the time to check in with us this evening, Gary. Good to hear from you as always. And we have Atlanta 393. I believe that is Andrew in Dallas. Andrew, I've got you in the log as in and out, so thank you for that check-in. And Flip draws it to my attention that I just asked for Pine Log check-ins, yet we've determined that repeater is not working. So through the miracle of radio, we've got those 2 check-ins anyway. But at this point, we're going to go ahead and open up check-ins to any repeater anywhere, and I will just do my best to figure it out. So anyone wishing to check in to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net, please call Net Control now.
This is Atlanta 261 WRCT 399. Thank you, Net Control. Check in and out for just a bit, but yes, we're transmitting on Sassafras.
This is Chattanooga 58, WREC 529. Bill, better known as Rocket Man, on the Lookout Mountain repeater, in and out.
Exotic 22, WRCR 952. Tell me stop bridge. Checking in, and I may not be able to be around when you get to me, Justin. So I'll try to stick around if I can, but if you call for me and I'm gone, and just check me out, please. This is Atlanta 138, WRCA 209, checking in and out. I'm in bagpipe rehearsal.
This is
29, Marty in Tyrone, WRCA 796. Good evening, Justin, and everybody on the net.
WRKJ 453, Chattanooga 229. Ron, Chickamauga, Georgia, checking in and out.
It's all right, Penelope.
This is
Scaredy dog.
This is Atlanta 555. Dave and Marietta checking in.
WRJF 981, Atlanta 308, Dan and Marietta on Sassafras. Checking in and out tonight. We're getting some lightning blowing through here, so I'm going to bail out and listen to you from the handheld inside.
Atlanta 344, WRKG 852, Damon out of Murrayville. I'll be in and out.
Okay, Net Control is going to take a little break right there. There were several doubles and a couple of unreadable signals, and I never did figure out who we had checking in from Chickamauga, Georgia, but I think that might have been a Ron. In any case, let me go back and acknowledge what we have, and if you do not hear me call your TAC number and name, then it means that I don't have you in a log. So with that, let's go right back up to Atlanta 261, Scott in Holly Springs. Scott was able to get in on top of several other signals. I believe he was probably standing in his driveway with his little 5-watt handheld, and but he has excellent elevation and line of sight to the repeater. So Scott, great job getting in. Got you in the log as in and out. Thank you for checking in with us this evening. And I understand a lot of folks are going to be in and out tonight because of concerns with the thunderstorm. I get it. I completely get it. So that's just fine. Next on my list is Chattanooga 58, Bill the Rocket Man. It's great to hear from you, Bill, and I had you on my mind earlier today as I was looking through some news feeds. I saw an announcement about a fire at the Boca Chica shipbuilding facility, and I thought, oh my golly, what a horrible thing. It turns out it was a pretty minor fire, but they did indeed have a fire in one of the buildings where they put the rockets together. Exciting stuff. So Bill's checking in from Lookout Mountain. I've got you in the log, Bill, as in and out, and we'll definitely have more conversations later. Next on my list is McDonough 22. Tim in Stockbridge. Tim is a busy guy. He might be here and he might not. Yeah, all right, and my radio's complaining. It must be getting warm. No, not too bad. In any case, yeah, we're done. We are done. Okay, so we're going to come over here. All right. Had to switch radios there. This radio is indeed hot, so it's not liking... There must be something going on with the antenna because it doesn't normally get hot. I'll have to look into that and maybe cut my dialogue a little bit shorter. Next on my list is Atlanta 138, Robert in Auburn. Robert is engaged in rehearsal this evening, but appreciate you taking the time to check in with us, Robert. I think I heard you try to check in earlier, but I was engaged in some troubleshooting, and I really couldn't sort out check-ins at that point in time. In fact, I didn't even have the application open to be able to enter you in here. So, but appreciate that, Robert, and hopefully next week we'll be doing early check-ins. Next on my list is Atlanta 29. I'm sorry, Noonan 29. Marty in Tyrone. Thank you, Marty, for checking in with us this evening. And that brings me next to the one I couldn't quite get a copy on in Chickamauga, Georgia. We'll come back to you in just a moment and see if we can get that name and tactical unit number. Next, I have Atlanta 555, Dave in Marietta. I've got you in a log, Dave. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we have Atlanta 308, Dan in Marietta. Dan, I think you said you were in and out because you were concerned about the storm. Hey, I get it. That's fine. Thanks for making the effort to check in with us this evening. And next I have Atlanta 344. I believe that was David in Murrayville. David, I don't know if you were in and out or if you were going to hang out with us, but I've got you in the log, so we'll come back to you here in a little bit. And the last one I have on my list is Atlanta 26, Flip in the beautiful Druid Hills. So, Flip, thank you for self-checking in tonight, and we'll definitely add you into the log here and come back for your comments in a little bit. And if I keep having radio trouble, you may end up taking over the net tonight. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. So with that, that's what I have for check-ins at this point in time. We'll take additional check-ins, but first I want to see if I can get that Chickamauga location check-in. I want to get a tactical unit number and a first name for that check-in, please. Net control standing by.
WRKJ 453, Chattanooga 69, Ronnie in Chickamauga, Georgia.
Net control acknowledging Chattanooga 69, Ronnie in Chickamauga, Georgia. Thank you for that clarification, and I've got that corrected in a log. Any additional check-ins? Net control standing by.
This is Atlanta 550, WRJN 906, Steve in Talking Rock. I'll be in and out tonight.
This is Atlanta 780, WQUV 439, Houston and Austell. I'll be in and out, Justin. Y'all have a good evening.
This is Atlanta 509, Jesse in Alpharetta, WQXJ 681. In and out tonight.
Net control, did you get Atlanta 28, RKN 234? This is
last station, that was totally unreadable. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to take that check in. I can't hear any of it. So if you can get to a better location and try that again. Let me go ahead and acknowledge what we have so far, and because there was a couple of them in there that I missed. So I have Atlanta 550 Steve in Talking Rock. Steve, I've got you in and out of the log tonight. Thank you for taking the time to check in with us. I look forward to hearing from you again soon. And next I have Atlanta 780 Houston in Austell, also in and out. I'll bet you he's disconnecting his antennas for concern for the coming storm. So Houston, I appreciate you hanging out with us. Maybe he can hear us on one of his HTs. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 509, Jesse in Alpharetta. Thank you, Jesse, for checking in tonight. It's great to hear from you. And I have Atlanta 285, CV Smith in Murrayville. CV, I've got you in the log. Looking forward to hearing from you as well. Next, I have Atlanta 442, Craig in Ackworth. Just before Craig checked in, there was another station, and the audio was very low. I believe that was a female station, a female operator trying to check in. So if you would, please come back with your check-in, just like you did, but try to speak a little bit louder into the radio, and we'll see if we can get you. Last on my list is Atlanta 104, David in Paulding. David, we've got you in the log, and looking forward to catching up with you here in just a little bit. So first I'd like to hear from the lady that tried to check in, and then any additional check-ins after that. Net control standing by.
Atlanta 521, WRKN 715, Bailey from Alligator.
This is Atlanta 172, WRHW 610, Bremen, checking in and out.
This is This is Atlanta 141, WRKS 900. That's Ken from Big Canoe, checking in and checking out for the storms. Over.
Chattanooga 47, WRJB 257, Chad in Chattanooga, and checking in.
WRED 972 in and checking in and out.
Atlanta 1410, Glennon, Canton, I'll be in and out, over.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can get this sorted out here. I believe we have Atlanta 521, and I think that I'm probably going to say this wrong, and I apologize, but I believe it is pronounced Bailey in LJ. It's fantastic to hear from you, Bailey. I think I've heard your family on the air on occasion through the previous weeks, and that's been pretty cool to hear. Next on my list is Atlanta 172, Greg in Bremen. Greg, I've got you in a log as in and out. Great to hear from you, Greg. Hope all is well over there in Bremen. And next on my list is Atlanta 141, Ken in Big Canoe. Ken is in and out with us this evening. thanks, Ken, for checking in with us tonight. And lots of folks in and out, and I understand with the conditions being what they are. So, but thanks for checking in, and hope that you can monitor and hang out with us. Next on my list is Chattanooga, 47 Chad in Chattanooga. That's a lot of CHAs, but we've got you in there, Chad. Thanks for checking in with us. And we have Hank in Marietta. Hank, I didn't get your tactical unit number. We're having a tough time hearing your signal there in Marietta. But if you would please, when I break, come back with your tactical unit number, and we'll try to get that in a log. Next on my list is Atlanta 275, Ken in Canton. Ken, I've got you in and out tonight, but it's great to hear from you. Looking forward to catching up with you again sometime, and yeah, it won't be too much longer. It'll be time to start messing with those bees. Next on my list is Atlanta 410, Glenn, also in Canton. Glenn, I've got you in a log. Looking forward to talking with you here in a little bit. And I'm being asked a question. And the answer to the question is, I don't know if it's the link or the repeater. I haven't had an opportunity to do any investigation or troubleshooting. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and open up one more time for any additional check-ins, and then we'll get started.
This is Hank, Atlanta 124.
And 29, once again, if you could check me back out, in and out. We've got thunder rumbling down here, and looks like might be getting a little ugly and may want to disconnect, so I may not be here by the time you get to me. Thanks, Justin. WRQ 796.
All right, Marty, we'll make that adjustment in the log and show you in and out. And if at some point along the way, if you want to jump in here, feel free. I understand the weather has got people concerned. It makes perfect sense to me, and that's quite all right. So we'll hope that you can monitor, and we'll tell you good evening. Got you in a log, in and out. All right, so with that, we've got a pretty good list to start from, and I think we'll go ahead and jump right in. I don't have much in the way of announcements this evening. There's a handful of things that are going on with North Georgia GMRS, but nothing is at a place where we're ready to break it or say, okay, this is next, or this is what's happening, or this is when we're going to do. Lots of things in the fire, and nothing's ready yet. So no real announcements to make, but we did talk about this week mission statement, and so one of the things that that came to mind was, what is your purpose for GMRS Radio, and what is it that that brings you to this craft or this this activity? I get in trouble if I refer to it as a hobby, so I'm gonna not use the H word tonight. Actually, I probably will. But in any case, well, what is your purpose for GMRS Radio, and what is it that you hope to achieve? Is it family communications? Is it networking? Is it meeting new people? You know, there could be any of a number of things that people are hoping to get from their experience with GMRS Radio, and I can tell you that we have experienced all of that. We've met some fantastic people. We have made new friends. We have made many acquaintances, and just generally have a great time. And it's especially cool when you can spend quality time with quality people, and that's something that we very much enjoy. Easy for me to say, I guess. Let me break here real quick. So I've prepared a mission statement, and I'll save my comments for the end. But let's go ahead and go through our list here. And right here at the top, we have Atlanta 520, Mark in LJ. Mark, any comments for the net tonight? And it doesn't have to be limited to a mission statement. If there's anything else you'd like to talk about, there's some crazy stuff going on in the atmosphere tonight. I think that's called weather, which could be a topic of concern for many, and that's okay. But what have you got going on, Mark? And do you have a mission statement?
Yeah, this is Mark. This is Atlanta 520. And I've been into radio for a long time. I put up actually a picture of my original base station from sometime early in the 60s on the Facebook page this week. Very unsuccessful at actually reaching many people back in those days. But it was a lot of fun when I did actually make connection. And I was in the Civil Air Patrol for years and was a communications specialist there. So I got to get a lot of experience in emergency communications and worked a lot of missions there. And I just, have become very aware of the value and the benefits of having this, as an additional means of communication to keep the family together. So our daughter, who's a little shy to check in tonight, maybe she'll check in next week, and my wife Bailey, who checked in earlier, to my benefit, she's making, I think, a pineapple upside down cake. So I don't know that she'll be coming back on with her mission statement. For us, it's a great way for the family to stay connected. It's a great way to network with other people in the northern Georgia area. And I think it's just wonderful to have that network. So I'm not sure if that's actually a mission statement, but that's sort of how we're integrating into this unit, and just look forward to learning more and meeting more people.
Well, that's great stuff, Mark. And I believe I've heard your family either this week or maybe it was the week prior, just maybe doing some test communications. I don't know if they were using HTs or if they were in mobile units, but they had great signals, and that was pretty cool to hear. So, good job on getting the family involved, and that is one of the primary benefits of GMRS radio. As opposed to ham radio, everyone has to have a license, and it becomes very complicated for those that don't have the interest in radio that we might. So great job in getting the family involved, and excellent to hear Bailey check in on the net tonight. And we'll call out for her, and if she's available, that's great, and if not, that's okay too. So thank you for that, Mark, and good stuff. Thanks for your service with the Civil Air Patrol. I have a very minimal exposure to that, and I think it's a very, very cool program. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Atlanta 393, Andrew in Dallas. Andrew was in and out with us this evening, but it was great to hear from you, and appreciate you listening in. Also, I have Atlanta 948, Gary in Woodstock. Gary is also in and out with us tonight, as many of the users are. And we have Atlanta 261, Scott in Holly Springs, also in and out tonight. Thanks, Scott, for monitoring. And we have the Rocket Man, Chattanooga 58, Bill, checking in from the Lookout Mountain machine. It's great to hear from you, Bill. That brings me next to the busy man, McDonough 22, Tim in Stockbridge. Tim, do you have a minute to talk to us about your mission with GMRS Radio, or do you have any other comments for the net?
Good evening, Justin, and the rest
I knew you'd be there.
Didn't really expect to be gotten around to this quick, but I see we had a lot of check-in and out tonight because of the weather, and I think there's a tornado watch for Henry County down here right now. But anyway, I've had a little computer problem here. It's kind of taken up my problem. One of the reasons I didn't think I was going to make it on the net tonight, trying to get my head in this wrapped around this computer problem I'm having. But anyway, my mission mostly is just using it as a personal hobby, and for just the way my life runs, I don't get a lot of chance to socialize, let's say, with a lot of people, other than just one or two family members and my boss and a couple people I work with and stuff like that. So I enjoy talking to people, and I enjoy, the camaraderie and stuff, and used to enjoy a good bit of it back in the CB radio days until things got kind of messed up on the CB band there, and I got away from that years ago. So, and also it's to have communications in times of emergencies, and to be able to reach out and talk to somebody, or either help somebody or get help myself in those times when things might go south a little bit. So anyway, I guess that's about it, Justin. I'm sorry I didn't have a better idea prepared for tonight, but got kind of distracted here. But anyway, I guess that's about it. I'll turn it back to you.
Well, good stuff, Tim. And I have to add in because whether you've made it your mission or not, you have effectively exercised a useful mission within North Georgia GMRS, and that is helping new members navigate the ins and outs of programming their radios and figuring out how to do various tasks within getting the radio set up and then getting started in GMRS radio with the network here. So whether that's your mission or not, it is a task that you have taken on and that you excel at. And I just want you to know that I appreciate what I've seen in terms of the help that you've offered on Facebook comments and the help that I've heard you offer other members over the air. And that's very good stuff. So that, along with the social aspect, is something that I very much enjoy out of GMRS radio. Is it is a very social form of radio, more so than it is with other formats, and I very much enjoy that aspect. We have a great big radio family here, and I very much enjoy participating with that. Now I'm seeing a bunch of flickering on the core monitor up here, and I wonder if I'm cutting in and out. Can anybody come back and comment on that?
Just a little bit, Justin. Missed just a word or two here and there, but got the gist of what you were saying.
All right, I appreciate that, Tim, and thank you for your comments. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 138, Robert in Auburn. Robert is at bagpipe rehearsal, so hopefully Robert will be able to excel in the performance when the time comes, and maybe we'll even get to hear some of what he's doing. I don't know. We'll have to ask him one of these times when he is available. But he is practicing the art of music with bagpipes. That fascinates me. Next on my list is Noonan 29, Marty in Tyrone. Marty asked to be in and out this evening because he's got stuff going on. So with that, we're going to go ahead and move right along to Chattanooga 69, Ronnie in Chickamauga, Georgia. Ronnie is also in and out this evening, and that brings me next to Atlanta 555, Dave in Marietta. Dave, what's on the grill tonight?
Oh, Justin, you should know better than that. Nothing on the grill. It's raining over here in Marietta right now, and some major thunder, so I'm hoping you're reading me okay.
Oh, we're reading you great. There's just a little bacon frying in your signal, but that's okay. We're perfectly readable audio.
Yep, that's because I'm on the Sassy, which is not my go-to, but it's working. Yay! So I don't really have a mission statement for GMRS. I'm having fun. It's a lot of fun. It's toys. I get to buy more toys, and that's always a good thing. So yeah, we've actually used it a couple times camping. A lot better than the bubble pack. And now we got the base station, and I got 5 HTs, and I'm gonna put one in the truck here soon. So yeah, it's just fun, and that's all I got. So ground control, back to you, Major Tom. Take your protein pills.
Fantastic. Well, I'll tell you, fun is a word that is in my mission statement. So there you go. It doesn't have to. We don't have to have a mission for why we are members, but it's just something that I thought might be kind of cool to see what people's thoughts and ideas were. So that's good stuff, Dave. I appreciate that. And yeah, fun is a key element here. I mean, that's why I do what I do, and I enjoy the role that I play in North Georgia GMRS. And yeah, I mean, if it weren't fun, it would be a job, and I already have one of those. So actually, I enjoyed the job too. So I don't know. I don't know. But in any case, thanks for your comments, Dave. With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Atlanta 308. Dan in Marietta. Dan is in and out with us this evening. But thank you, Dan, for checking in. It's going to bring me next to Atlanta, 344, David in Murrayville. David, do you have a mission, or do you have any other comments for the net? We've got some crazy weather going on. Hope everything is well in Murrayville. Okay, carrier and no audio, and we had a Roger beep in there. Was that you, David, or did you want to try that again? Yeah, okay, Atlanta 344, David in Murrayville. Not hearing anything from you, so we're going to go ahead and move on. We'll show you in and out of the log and move next to Atlanta 550, Steve in Talking Rock. Steve is in and out with us this evening. Thank you, Steve, for checking in. It's great to hear from you. And that's going to bring me next to Flip, Atlanta 26 in the beautiful Druid Hills. Flip, what's going on this evening, and do you have a mission statement to share with the group?
Well, I hope you can hear me. I'm not sure I can make it up to Sassafras, but hopefully I can. Before I got the postcard, my mission was really kind of quasi... Let me break. So my wife is an attorney, and her law firm is in Midtown, in the Bank of America Plaza building. Can you hear me or not?
Yeah, you got covered up in static in your earlier transmission, but it looks like you're getting in there now. So keep on just right where you're at.
Okay, well, so my wife is an attorney in Midtown in a law firm in Bank of America Plaza building, and I just, I like the idea of being able to communicate when and if internet and cell was all down. So I got a GMRS license. I like the idea of the family being involved in it and not, all being under one license. So that's what I did, and then I got your postcard, and so that kind of led me on down the road towards further radio expertise. But yeah, so that was mainly it. Also, let me break. Can you still hear me?
Hearing you great, so keep it on.
Okay, also, we had gone on a family vacation with our cousins and family, broader family, grandparents, etc., on a cruise, and we were using those bubble pack radios, and we couldn't quite, we either had people on the same channel with us, or we couldn't quite have enough power to get around the different levels of this cruise ship and stuff. So I thought, in addition to, the prepping side of things, being able to communicate when everything else hits the fan, I like the idea of having a little better power on the GMRS side in a handheld. So, so that was basically my mission. But then I got the postcard, and long story, but now I'm an amateur extra.
Well, that's fantastic stuff, and yes, GMRS radio has demonstrated itself to be a gateway to other radio hobbies. And I think I can say hobby when I talk about other radio hobbies, but I do get in trouble when I say that GMRS is a radio hobby. But in any case, that's cool stuff. Now let me ask you, have you QSO'd with the wife in the big building downtown? Do you do that simplex, or do you use repeaters?
I have done it as an experiment a couple of times, but just simplex, because it's pretty high up there in that building, and I'm just over here in Druid Hills, so no problem. And I didn't, I wanted to make sure that we could do it without the repeater. Although the repeater is nice to have, it's just, prepper. Want to make sure you're capable of dealing with it when The repeater's down.
Indeed, yes, and I've been able to reach out with the radio from the office there, prior to COVID, but I always used a repeater and never ever tried making contact here on simplex. So that's an interesting thought. Of course, this is a much greater distance, but yet elevation is there, and I suppose the potential exists that that contact could be made. So that's cool stuff. Now, on the cruise ships, you mentioned the bubble pack radios and disappointing performance. But have you had the GMRS radios on the cruise ships yet?
No, that was many years ago, and it was frustrating, a frustrating experience. But I will say we were in Yellowstone National Park this summer, and it was very handy because cellular service does not exist in that park. It's so damn big. It's the biggest national park that we have in America. So we were cruising around, and it was really nice to be able to communicate between cars and stuff with the GMRS. It was awesome.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Well, one thing that I'm curious about is on these cruise ships, I know that they use a lot of VHF communications, and our GMRS V1 radios will receive on those VHF frequencies. So it would be interesting to find out what those frequencies are and scan them, and be able to listen to some of the crew communicating on those ships. That would be a fun thing. In fact, that's probably what I would be wanting to do more than anything, is just listen in on those communications if I were on a cruise ship. And I would also want to see all the technical areas. I could care less about the swimming pools and the dining halls and the sun decks and all the other activities. I want to see the engine room, but that's the nerd in me. But cool stuff, Flip. Glad to hear it, and glad that you're able to make GMRS work for you. And I'm glad also to hear that silly postcard amounted to something. It's something that we often wonder, is whether the postcard is an effective tool or not. I just last week, a week ago today, sent out a batch of postcards, and typically I send them out every couple of weeks because there are so many now, and we ran out of postcards, and we were considering changing our graphics, getting a new logo. And so I stalled on ordering new postcards, and we got to the place where it had been a couple of months since we'd mailed any postcards out. And so I went ahead and ordered postcards based on our existing logos, and I mailed out 275 postcards last Thursday. Actually, that's incorrect. It was 335 postcards last Thursday, which is about 60 days worth of GMRS licenses in the state of Georgia. So and I weeded out the stuff that's down in Albany, Georgia, because we don't have repeater coverage down there. We don't have repeater coverage in Augusta. So I weeded out a bunch of addresses that I knew that we couldn't cover. But we sent out a bunch of postcards just a week ago, so hopefully those will be in people's hands about now, and they can start wondering whether or not to be like Flip and join North Georgia GMRS. Thank you for that. And next on my list, I have Atlanta 780, Houston in Austell. Houston is in and out with us this evening. I'll bet he's protecting his station and disconnecting his antenna connections from his radios. But hopefully he's able to continue monitoring. So thank you, Houston, for checking in tonight, and hope all is well with you and Mona over there. And that brings me next to Atlanta 509, Jesse in Alpharetta. Jesse, can you tell us, do you have any comments for the group, and do you have a mission statement for GMRS Radio? Atlanta 509. Are you still with us, or were you in and out? All right, we're going to show Atlanta 509 as in and out tonight, but we're going to thank Jesse for checking in and hope to hear from him again real soon. That brings me next to Atlanta 285, a CV in Murrayville. CV, do you have any comments with regards to a mission statement and any other thing you'd like to bring to the group tonight?
Roger that, Net Control. This is Atlanta 285, WRKN 234. You're sounding great tonight. Better connection than most of the time, actually. And I received postcard number 334 out of 335 this week. We got into GMRS about 2 months ago out of a concern of trying to develop alternatives.
And that should take care of it. Thank you. All right. And, yeah, CV, so glad that you got that postcard and wish that it had arrived in a more timely fashion. And but, yes, that's the same postcard that lots of people get. So when I see new licenses acquired in the state of Georgia and within reach of us, I send them a postcard and invite them to check us out. So that's pretty cool. Alternative communications is a big and powerful tool for North Georgia GMRS. Just like Flip had mentioned, it's a great way for him to make contact with his wife if she's in the big bank building downtown and something goes awry and the internet goes down. And of course, when the internet goes down, down go the phones, and they kind of live in the same paths these days. So yeah, so we can make simplex communications without the use of the internet. And of course, the linking system that we use does require internet connections. But these repeaters can operate in a standalone fashion, and in that sense, they will operate whether there's internet or not. And I haven't done any troubleshooting, but my guess is that the Pine Log repeater is working. It's just not working through the link. So, and there could be any of a number of reasons for that. It could be a power outage at the link site. It could be internet trouble at the link site. Could be a number of reasons, but I haven't done any troubleshooting, and I don't know for sure what's going on there, but we do definitely have an issue with the Pine Log site this evening, and we'll get it sorted out, and we'll get it back up and running here real quick. Thank you for your comments, CV. With that, I'm going to move on to Atlanta 442. Craig in Ackworth. Craig, do you have a mission statement, and do you have any other comments for the net?
Hey, good evening, Justin, and everybody on the net. Well, you know, with 24 years in the military, you know, I've probably done that a time or two. So I just kind of jotted one down real quick, and here's mine. My mission statement, as far as why I'm involved in GMRS radio, is to enhance personal communications capabilities, to establish new friendships with like-minded enthusiasts, to share information, and to help fellow members in the community. So that's pretty much mine. I think it pretty much speaks for itself. And as far as tonight, just kind of keeping an eye on the weather. I think things are kind of going to fizzle out as it cools off over the evening. But I'm out here in the workshop doing some retro computing on my old venerable Commodore 64.
Ah, cool.
And participating in the net, and that's pretty much it on my end. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Net Control.
The old Commodore 64. You know, when I was a kid, a high school kid, I got together with a few friends, and we created a music news information newspaper for the area that I lived in, Fort Wayne, and published that weekly for about 2 years. And what a cool experience that was, because I didn't know anything about anything. I was not a writer, I was not an editor, I was not a publisher, but I had a Commodore 64 computer. That's what we used for word processing to publish the first several issues of The Line. and it was a weekly newspaper that had the band lineups for bars in the area, and music news, regional music news, and it's quite a thing. So I spent a lot of time going door to door at various venues selling advertising for this newspaper that I had created, and it was moderately successful, but it just wasn't enough to be able to pay for a staff and pay for professional equipment and to to really get off the ground and grow the way that it should. And ultimately, I really excuse me, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just faking it, and faked it pretty well for about 2 years.
That's funny, yeah. It's pretty cool. These things have just a huge following. I mean, people are still developing hardware and peripherals for them, and like the demo scene for them is still active. People are still developing games that really, I mean, literally stretch it to its limits and probably exceeded capabilities the original designers even knew that it had. But yeah, you'll never believe what I'm doing either. Let me break. I actually have mine on my home network, and what I'm doing right now is transferring disk images off of an attached floppy drive through my network to my laptop so that I have a backup of that disk in digital format that I could actually use on an SD card. I have an SD card reader attached to it too. So that's what I'm doing. But hey, I wanted to real quick. I think it was the first station on the net that threw out his comments that mentioned the Civil Air Patrol. I actually dealt with the Civil Air Patrol in the entire southeast region. That was my last job in the Air Force here as a special duty. I was like logistics oversight over the Civil Air Patrol units in all the southeastern states, including Puerto Rico. And I used to deal with a lot of the communications officers at the Civil Air Patrol wing level and even down into the individual squadrons. And those guys were all professional guys. Some of them retired military or retired communications professionals, in the civilian sector. And had a really good time interfacing with those guys. With that, I'll turn it back to Net Control.
Well, very cool stuff, and that was a great mission statement too, by the way. It just cuts to all the points about communications and having fun and meeting people, and that's good stuff. So appreciate your thoughts with regard to the mission statement. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 104, David in Paulding. David, do you have any comments for the net, and do you have a mission statement?
Hello, Net Control, and everyone within listening reach. Not really a mission statement, but pretty much echoing what others have said. It's a new hobby for me. It's an addition to some of the other things I have, going on along with, a second line of communications. But it's just something fun to try, and meeting new people is one of the biggest things. I think last year proved that we need to communicate more with people, and I think the radios are a good way to do that. But yeah, it's just something fun to do. I really enjoy meeting with new people and that are like-minded.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the biggest things that drew us into this group, was just meeting people and finding that they're a great bunch of people. So that's very cool stuff. Yeah, and like I said earlier, we don't necessarily have to have a mission to be involved in an interest in radio. But I just thought it would be interesting to see what people's thoughts were. So that's good stuff. Appreciate your comments, David. With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Atlanta 521. Bailey in LJ. Bailey may be making a, I think he said it was a pineapple upside down cake. I might have that wrong, but let's see if Bailey has stuck around with us, and if so, let's see if Bailey has a mission statement or any comments for the net.
Thank you you for hosting tonight's net. Actually, we don't know there's a net on Thursday evening, so we received the postcard. So thank you. Yeah, I actually just got all the recipe for the upside down pineapple cake. So probably it's too late tonight. Probably tomorrow we'll try. And so what I want to share is the country where I come from. This kind of private radio network is forbidden because the government wants to have the total control of the communication and everything. So for me, it's very exciting to experience this as part of the freedom. So I really enjoy and appreciate it.
Well, that's fantastic, and yes, family communications is kind of the. I don't want to say it's the point of GMRS radio, but it sort of is. It's an extension of the family radio service, FRS, and it does allow for a little bit different operation in the fact that FRS doesn't provide for repeaters where GMRS does, and FRS has some pretty tight power limits where GMRS is considerably more forgiving on power, up to 50 watts. Yes, it really does boil down to an extension of the family radio service, and family radio is the core of what this is about. And we very much like to hear families involved and on the air and engaged, and so very much enjoy hearing spouses and children come on the air and talk with us about things like pineapple upside down cake and the freedoms that we enjoy in this radio community. So I'm glad that you are a part of the group, and look forward to hearing more. And I'm hoping that one day I get to sample that pineapple upside down cake. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 172, Greg in Bremen. Greg is in and out with us this evening, probably weathering the storms. And so that brings me now to, we have an entry in the log that I don't know what to make sense of. We don't have any information, no tack. We just heard a break of noise that was about as long as a check-in would be. So if we haven't called you, you haven't made it into the log, then when we finish up with check-ins here, we'll take additional check-ins and see if we can get that person in. So next I have Atlanta 141, Ken in Big Canoe. Ken is also in and out with us this evening, but he's probably monitoring. And we'll say thank you, Ken, for listening in. Let me break. Got just a bit of a tickle in my throat, and it sneaks up on me from time to time, but let's see if we can get through this anyway. Next on my list is Chattanooga 47. Chad in Chattanooga. Chad, do you have a mission statement, and do you have any comments for the net tonight?
Good evening, everybody. I wouldn't call it a mission statement, but I've played on the wireless bands over the years with TV, and then way back in the day, I always listened to the scanners, listening to what was going on with local law enforcement. So, being in the IT community for 20 years, it just seemed like a natural thing for me to play around with this type of wireless communication. But a big thing was fun. But here recently, I sold my house, and my girlfriend and I were going to take to the road, see in the country, and do some RV type of lifestyle. And in doing so, we've got the main vehicle, or it'll be like I call it bus, but it'll be a motorhome, and then we're going to have our secondary vehicle that we pull along with it. And we want to hit some places like Colorado and Oregon, maybe some stuff on the West Coast, and be able to have an alternative means of communication like that, be able to stay in contact with each other. Who knows what kind of scenarios will be played out, but to be able to be in constant communication will be a huge bonus, I think. I also like over the TV bands. I like the sound quality that you get with GMRS. FM over versus AM, I believe, is right. And so that's my big plan for it right now, anyway. I imagine that our radio is going to get a lot more usage coming weeks. We close on the house the 29th, and we're going to be gone a few days after that. So we'll see how that plays out with it. Thank you.
Very cool stuff. What a big adventure. Gonna live in the RV and do some traveling, and that's fantastic stuff. You know, my dad, you know, he's well past retirement age, but he still, I don't know why, but he still works. I think he just loves what he does. But his work slows down in the wintertime, and so he has kind of done the seasonal RV thing. But he tells me that this year he's going to give up the lease on his apartment, and he's going to full-time in the RV. He's got a place near where he works where he can park it and live in it, and so he's gonna do that for the season, and then when the work slows down, he's gonna get behind the wheel and go someplace. So last time they did that, they came here for about a week, and we got that giant RV of his promptly stuck in my backyard in the mud, but we were able to get it out and get him back on the road in time for him to go and spend about 3 months in Texas. And he was in Texas for that cold snap. It's kind of funny because he left here because it was too cold, and went to Texas where it was even colder. But one of the things that is very, very cool is I've got a photograph of my dad standing with serial number 10 over his shoulder in the background. And so he was that close to the SpaceX facility, and he was there at Boca Chica. He was all around exploring and bike riding and fishing and just enjoying life, and right there in the area where SN10 was standing for all that time. He was actually down there when they launched SN9, but he missed that, and then he ended up leaving before SN10 launched. But that RV life is something that would be very interesting to do, and I hope that serves you very, very well. So good luck with that, and good luck with the closing on the home. That's a big financial deal, and sometimes we win, and most of the time we lose. But I hope that you do better at real estate than I ever could. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 124, Hank in Marietta. We had a hard time reading you, Hank, but let's see what you've got. Do you have a mission statement, and do you have any comments for the net? Net control standing by. Unfortunately, Hank, we didn't catch any of that. All we could hear was the sizzle and snap, crackle, pop, and noise of a distant signal. Do you want to jump over to Pine Log and see if you can get in there? I understand the link might be back. Make a quick transmission on Pine Log, and let's see if we can hear you there. All right. All right, Hank. Well, either the pine log is not back like we thought it was, or you didn't make the transition, or for whatever reason. But we couldn't make any of that out, unfortunately. But I would love to hear your mission statement and your comments. I just don't know how we're going to go about that. Maybe you can make a post on Facebook for us. Sorry about that, and hopefully we can get a better signal out of you next week. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 275, Ken in Canton. I show Ken is in and out tonight. Thank you, Ken, for checking in with us, and look forward to chatting with you sometime soon. And that brings me next to Atlanta 410, Glenn in Canton. Glenn, do you have any comments for the net, and do you have a mission statement?
No necessary comments. Mission statement. I haven't never thought about it that way. Probably have some goals. I spent about 7 years in the Air National Guard ground radio maintenance, and wanted to get my ham after that. But 20 years flew by, and then GMRS. I never thought much about it. I just thought it might have been walkie-talkies on steroids. But more recently, bought a UB5R. Started mostly using it for scanning, monitoring Cherokee County. And then got into GMRS, probably earlier this year. So I never thought much about the repeater system and all that. So I think my main goal was just seeing how well I could establish some simplex communication and how much distance you could gain from it. So that's been kind of not a challenge, but kind of sorry about that, I found out. So mostly it's been, I think, mission statement. I like monitoring, and I like hearing all you guys, and just want to dabble around, mostly just play with the new toys, see if I can get 50 more feet on simplex with every new antenna arrangement. So that's been the goal, is just play around, and wouldn't mind meeting some of you guys at some point. Over.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you for 20 years in the Air National Guard. That's very cool. Appreciate your service. And, walkie-talkie on steroids, I guess that's one way to put it, because we with the repeaters, we definitely get a lot more range than you typically would with a VHF or even a UHF handheld. So it does really expand what we're able to do. Experimenting with antennas is a noble interest to pursue. Something that I think is going to be coming up here real soon. I've got a couple of antenna projects that I'm going to have to engage in. One by force and another by choice. And there's a third antenna issue that I think I'm going to have to look at real hard here real soon, and that is, I think my Ed Fong GMRS antenna might be in trouble again. So I'm going to have to dig into that. I'll get the analyzer out and have a look-see if that'll tell me any secrets about that antenna, and we'll see what's going on from there. But as far as getting together face to face, I think that we're probably on the horizon of being able to do something. I'm excited about the potential of having some North Georgia GMRS picnics and gatherings at restaurants and parks and things of that nature. So stay tuned. I think we may be able to put something together in the next couple of months, and hopefully by summer we'll have something. And typically in the past we would organize an event of that nature round about quarterly, give or take. So I'd like to get that back into gear, and it'd be great to put a face to a name and do some handshaking and all of that. So we can bring the hand sanitizer along. That's okay. I'm not going to be offended if you wash your hands after we shake them, but I sure would like to put my hand in yours and all of yours, and be able to see you face to face. So hopefully one day real soon we'll kick that into gear. Thank you for your comments, Glenn. And with that, I'm going to go ahead, and we're at the end of our list. So let's see if we have any late check-ins, and then I'll read my mission statement. Net control standing by.
This is WQZW444, Noonan 40. This is Larry down in Noonan.
Okay, I think I heard a double in there, but I did copy Noonan 40, Larry in Noonan. Do we have any other late check-ins? Net control standing by.
Atlanta 401.
Okay, Atlanta 401. David in Canton, I've got you in the log as well. Let's go ahead and bounce back to Noonan 40, Larry in Noonan, and see if Larry has any comments for the group, or if he has a mission statement he'd like to share.
Good evening, Justin. I hope you're doing well. I was having to remind myself to breath, breathe, and talk. Things are going well. It looks we are probably on the very south edge of the weather coming through tonight. Nothing too bad here locally. So you guys a little bit further north, stay batting down. My mission statement for the evening, Justin, is to boldly go where no man has gone before. So that kind of covers it. So that's what's happening down here in Noonan tonight. So back to net control. This is Noonan 40.
All right, boldly go where no man has gone before. It sounds to me like you're on a radio trek. Maybe. I don't know. Am I reaching?
Roger, that's pretty good something. And so instead of doing music lyrics tonight, we'll do bluesy lines. Back to you.
Oh yeah. Well, that would be a whole other net, but we can kick that one off here in a little while. Good to hear from you, Larry, and hope that that you're doing well. Glad to hear that no serious issues from the storm in Noonan. Nothing serious in my area either. It looked like it could have gotten bad, but it just never really happened. So we saw a little bit of hail, but it was very small hail, and it was only for a few minutes. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 401. David in Canton. David, do you have any comments for the group, and do you have a mission statement?
Well, I think I fall into that geopolitical category you were talking about, with all the crazy, the COVID, and the toilet paper, and the election, and all the craziness going on. I bought a whole bunch of, like a bulk pack of these blister radios. And my brother, 410, who was on a minute ago, he shows up with his UV5R, and I get excited, so I order one. But I was scared to push the button because, so I hear about GMRS license fee coming down. I didn't even know what GMRS was. So I go online, and then I think, well, when it becomes $35, probably, I know the government, they're probably going to change it somehow, so I might as well get it now. And I ordered a little handheld GMRS radio and was kind of playing with my brother. He picked up one, and we're kind of simplexing back and forth. And it wasn't until I got your postcard in the mail that I even knew that there was, a repeater type setup for the GMRS. And so I signed up pretty quick. And then, now here I am with a whole bunch of handhelds, and I've got a base station, and then I got the thing in my car, and I keep shopping on Amazon, and my wife is going to kill me now. So, yeah, it's great, and it's going to be great going camping. I sort of fell into being a YouTuber at some point. I haven't done anything in a while, but kind of a camping YouTube channel. And I don't know. It's fun to explore these things and just, meet people and just have a good time.
Ah, well, fantastic. That's good stuff. And yeah, I suppose the geopolitical events that have occurred in recent times have spurred you and probably a lot of others. And that's great to hear that the postcard also drew your attention to us. Well, I'd love to hear that, and just hope that out of the 335 postcards that got mailed off of a week ago, that we are able to bring in a few new members out of that. It's an effort, but it's a rewarding one when I hear stories like yours, and um, the family aspect of GMRS radio is very cool because, if you're a ham, then it's pretty much your hobby. And if you get your spouse or your kids involved, it's because you're the control operator. And yeah, they may be able to get to sit there and push the mic, but they can't do anything without you being there. And so it's very limiting, and it's not as cool as being able to put a radio in your kid's hand and say you can use this legally, uh, but your friends can't, and so that gives a little bit of empowerment to the kids, and I think that by drawing the family in, we're able to really expand on the value of what GMRS is. Let me break. And one more thing that kind of brought GMRS into play for 947 and I was one evening standing in the driveway back when Bill Holliday was the net controller on a nightly basis. Every weeknight was a net. Um, Julie had heard me check in a handful of times, and after hearing me converse with the group and just just hearing everybody check in and talk about what their night was or what their day was or this or that, she started checking in. And shortly after she began getting involved, uh, she asked the net controller, "So how do I get your job?" And this is where we are today. So she ended up being the net control coordinator for North Georgia GMRS for a couple of years, and has kind of passed that on to me at this point in time. But in any case, it definitely is a family-friendly format, and we do love to hear the family and the spouses involved in radio. Let me make one last call for late check-ins, and then we'll get to my mission statement. All right, I think we've got everybody that we're going to get, so let's just jump right in here. And, I think that I heard some pretty good mission statements tonight, and I think I've heard elements that pretty much encompass all of this. But basically what I have is our mission is to promote GMRS radio communications in a fun and engaging way, to encourage family participation, and to expand awareness of GMRS radio using the North Georgia GMRS network linked repeaters, social media, YouTube, as well as live appearances whenever possible. So that's pretty much what we do. And David, one more thing I want to talk to you about. Perhaps we can get together one evening after working hours on the radio. But I'd love to talk to you about YouTube and being a YouTuber, something that we're doing here, and you might have some insight and advice. So I'd love to pick your brain and hear your comments about that. But that's what we have tonight for the net. So I'll take one last standby for any questions, comments, or late check-ins. Floor is open, net control standing by.
RKK629, Jim in Chattanooga.
Jim in Chattanooga, I missed your TAC number. It seems like I should know it, but I'm drawing a blank. Can you come back with your TAC number?
Yeah, Roger. It's Chattanooga 84. Something weird's going on with the repeater up here. It's almost like somebody keeps keying it up right after you light up off your microphone. It does it about 5 or 6 times until it stops.
All right. Well, that's good to know. It's something that we've seen before, and it may have to do with some issues in the linking network. So we'll definitely take a look and see if we can sort that out. If it continues on beyond tonight, I know we have a known issue this evening that we're going to dig into here in a few minutes, but hopefully that'll clear up whenever we can resolve our issue with Pine Log. Jim, do you have any comments for the group, and do you have a mission statement for GMRS Radio?
Really thought about it as a mission statement. Radio is the hobby that I grew up with as a teen, and life events changed that course of action until, I guess, January. My son we've been getting go packs. He's always had one, but helping me get one ready in case of emergencies, and this was just part of our emergency preparedness and alternate communication, and it just rekindled a fire in me that has been there since I was 12 when I started on radios, and I got my ham ticket, and now I have a room full of radios. It's a disease. I would just tell everybody to be careful, and I heard the other gentleman come in there, and sounds about like me, and his wife's going to kill him for spending so much money on radios, but it's a good hobby, and there's a lot of things to be able to help other people, and that's what I enjoy doing. So if that's a mission statement, that's mine.
Well, that will work, and that reminds me of a net not too terribly long ago where 947 asked folks about, what radios do they have, and some people just had, just a radio, and other people had a radio in a car, and a radio in their truck, and a radio in the house, and a radio in the boat, and they had this HT and that HT, and so as the evening progressed, we started making a list of all of the radios here on the property, both in our vehicles and the HTs that we have, and the HF radio that we have, and the various, I've got, there's 4 radios on this desk right now. They're all, 2 of them are GMRS radios. I've got a 2-meter radio and an HF radio. But we're going through and identifying whose radios these various radios were, because as it is, most of the radios on the property today are radios that actually belong to 947. So she didn't realize she had so many radios, and together we have way more than we need, but what's funny is that most of them are hers, so that's good stuff. So that's what you got to do, Jim. You just got to figure out how to convince your wife that those are actually her radios, and that because they're all hers, now you need to get one. But I hear what you're saying. It's a disease. It can be. I mean, we do spend a lot on our equipment, but you know what? If it's something that we enjoy, then it's okay. There's nothing wrong with spending money on a hobby that you enjoy, and my son has taken up golfing, and you want to talk about spending money? Holy cow! He could buy a radio a week with the money that he spends on golfing. So it's it's all relevant, and it's all what you enjoy doing. So good stuff. And with that, we're going to open up the floor one more quick time, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Net Control standing by.
Net Control, this is Atlanta 141. I've got a comment, please.
Well, hey, Ken, glad to have you back in here, and go ahead with your comment.
Yeah, thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. In listening tonight, I think the most powerful thing that I heard tonight was a young lady talking about the radio and the freedom that she has in this country as opposed to the country that she came from. That's a really good point if you think about it. This radio cannot be shut down by the cancel culture. It can't be shut down by Facebook or Google or AT&T or anybody for that matter. This is a freedom network, and I really appreciate her comment. Over.
Well, that is correct, and I'm glad that you brought that to light, because that is a powerful point, and something that's very easy for we as Americans to take for granted, that we have these opportunities that we just, we don't even think about. But people in other countries may not be able to enjoy the kind of communications and kind of networking and relationship building that we can build from a distance. For instance, there are people that I've met through GMRS radio that I very much enjoy spending time with, both on the air and in person, that had it not been for this network, I probably would never have known. And so just like to acknowledge your comments and thank you for bringing that to light, that we do have a tremendous freedom here with our radio interests, and we should keep that in mind and not take that for granted. Thank you for that, Ken. Appreciate your comments. And with that, I think it's time to go ahead and wrap this thing up. So hope that everybody who wanted to make a comment got an opportunity to get one in. If not, I'll be hanging around afterwards for a little while. So if you want to chime in after folks check out, that would be okay. This will conclude the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight we had a total of, looks like 31 check-ins. I know it says 32 in the log, but we've got one blank line in there, so I'm going to call it 31. And that includes myself. Net Control will now be returning the repeaters back to normal use. Everyone who signed in should sign out. Thank you for allowing me to serve as your Net Control this evening. Good night, everyone. This is Atlanta 946, WQIR 514. Justin, and I'm clear. All right, YouTube folks.
Atlanta 520, WRKN 715. Mark, signing out. Thank you very much for running the net this evening.
Looks like we're in good shape this evening. We did have one interruption. I'm going to go ahead and put that screen up, and I'm going to fade the radios out so that I can talk with you without the interruption there. And thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us this evening. Those of you that have viewed through the duration, thank you so much for being a part of North Georgia GMRS. Glad to have you in here and look forward to visiting with all of you again very, very soon. This is Justin, and I'll be clear. Good night, everyone.